Hi quilty friends, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches. And that's the same here as on Instagram. My name is Kelly, this is Milo, and we want to welcome you to our channel today to discuss all things quilting. Today is December 31st, 2022. It's the last day of the year. And so I just wanted to come to you to bring you my December update for this past year, this last one of the year. As you can see, I've got a new project up on the wall, so I've got some exciting updates. I've got a ton of stuff to go over with you, a bunch of finishes, and yeah, I'm really excited with the progress that I've made over this last month. I'm gonna put Mr. Man down. He's a little sleepy. He's kind of bouncing back and forth between sleepy and alert because it's almost dinner time. So anytime I kind of make any big moves, he thinks I'm going to the kitchen, which I will, just I'm gonna finish filming this first, okay? Take a nap. So first, let me start by saying a massive thank you to everyone who has found their way here, whether you're stopping by after checking out my floss tube video, and this is the first Quilter's Corner you've seen, you just kind of want to see what it's about, or whether you have been watching these from the beginning. I truly appreciate your interest in this aspect of my crafting, because I haven't found as many quilting outlets on YouTube in terms of community as I have with cross stitching. So it does mean a lot to me that anybody who's here to check out my quilting projects and who asks questions and interacts and just gives me some support or is just being nosy, you know. I really appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your day to check this out, because this has kind of been like, you know, if floss tube is my golden child, that would make Quilter's Corner like my redheaded stepchild. So I do adore it, and so I'm grateful for everybody who's stopped by here. Fun side note, I actually am a redheaded stepchild, like in real life. It's fine. I don't know why everybody makes it out to be such a bad thing. I'm awesome. Just ask my stepdad. So before we get into quilting and my finishes and my quilting whips, of course, we're gonna start with the reading update. Again, if you're stopping by from my floss tube video, you will have seen this already, so skip this part. Otherwise, I'm going to update you guys with what I have read this past month, because the Pages and Stitches is my third passion, which is reading. So let me share with you what I have read in December. Okay, I started out with A Curse of Blooded Stone by K.A. Tucker. This is the sequel to A Fate of Wrath and Flame in the same series. Then I read The Governess Game by Tessa. This is number 2 in her series, and followed it up with number 3, which is the Wallflower Wager. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Wallflower Wager. And then lastly, I have read Gena Showalter's The Darkest Night. This is the first book in this series. There's like 15 of these, so I'm actually really excited to be diving into a new lengthy series. All right, so I feel like I managed to get a lot accomplished in my December quilting. I'm very excited about that. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will have seen a lot of these already. So I did have 2 fully finished objects this month, and they make my heart feel full, because every time I finish a quilt, it's like I finished labor and just gave birth to a new baby. So let me share those with you. First, I finished this project here. This is the embroidery flower quilt that was designed by Tilda's World. This is a free pattern from her website, which I will absolutely have linked down below. Everything I mention, I'll try to have as much as I can linked down below. And I finished it. I managed to get it done. So let me show you. So here's this bad boy. let me, oh yeah, that shows the quilting pattern really well. So I chose like a leafy green, kind of like these colors that went across the top here, so that it kind of disappeared a little bit on the flower parts, but it still showed up on the background. This quilt was actually like really difficult to choose a quilting color for, because if it was light enough to not show up on the florals, it would be incredibly stark on the background, and vice versa. So like I really wrestled with it. I had no idea what to do. So finally I landed on like a leafy pattern. So that way I thought, if it's gonna stand out here, at least it's, you know, it adds to the design, because, you know, it's like if this part is all a bouquet, then this part is, you know, it's like a greenery, right? The backing I will have shown you is this beautiful Anna Maria Horner print, and I chose it because of its pixelated style, just like the front. It's just this gorgeous pink, and I asked my long arm quilter if it was possible to do a different color on the back than on the front, and she was like, yeah, no problem. So and instead on the back, just to make sure the quilting kind of blended in a little bit, I chose like a mid-tone pink that blended in quite nicely, so you kind of can't really see it, because the background is obviously, or the backing is obviously a very busy print. And then the binding is just this beautiful gold. It is actually a metallic, but it's not like there it is, like every couple of stitches, every couple of X's is a metallic, but it's this gold kind of cross stitch reminiscent fabric that I just love, and it's a bright, like springy color, just like, you know, the pattern in the middle. So I chose all of those elements because of the fact that they look like embroidery, you know, like the pattern calls it. And I could not be more happy with this quilt. It's pretty big. It's almost it's kind of like a twin size quilt, but this has been a labor of love. It took forever to finish piecing the top together, because it has, I mean, it's a lot of pieces. It's like 2,500 squares that got individually sewn together. So it was time consuming, but certainly worth it, because the result is definitely rewarding and definitely worth it. I've gotten a bajillion compliments on it, and I think this is a quilt that I will keep with me until my dying day. I might want to be buried with it, honestly. The next quilt that I was able to fully finish was this one here. This is my sort of take on Quatrefoil Shimmer, which was designed by Misty Doan of the Missouri Star Quilt Company. The pattern is available on their website, but they also have a free YouTube tutorial on their YouTube channel, and this is how it ended up. So the fabric that I used for this one was the Slow Stroll line by Moda, and the backing is a kind of like a light mauve purple color. I said backing. The background is a light mauve purple color that I got called Deco Stitch Elements from Art Gallery Fabrics. And then the stitch pattern is this amazing, let me see if I can find a good section to show you. So it's this amazing like autumnal leaf pattern that has acorns on it that my long armor bought specifically because of the acorns and that sort of like fall feel of this line. So look, here's an acorn right here. And you can see like these beautiful kind of like swoopy, that's a descriptive word, leaves. Here's another acorn here. Like here's a good leaf here. It's just so kind of like subtle, but still very very perfect and appropriate. Let's find our acorns on the front here. Here's one, it's upside down. But yeah, so we got this pattern. It's just like a soft pink that kind of like this color here that stands out a little bit on the backing, but not, or background, excuse me, but not so much. And you can see, you know, little hints of it on the darker fabrics. I'm really happy with that color choice. This color choice was much easier than the one for my embroidered flowers quilt. The border is this part. So I added a 2-inch border around each of the blocks in the background. And then I added a 6-inch border. I think it's 6 inches. It might be 5 inches. I think it's 6 inches of the same print that's from the line. And then the binding and the backing are the same print. They're just like this pink acorn print from the line as well. And I love it. It's really more of a lap size quilt. It's 68 by 68. I think it's 60. It's roughly 65 by 65. It may even be as big as 68. I kind of don't remember. So that was my second FFO, both fantastic. I'm super happy with each of them. They're gonna go into my quilt stack. I have a stack of all my finishes in my bedroom, and whenever I need one, I will pluck it off the top and curl up with it in my living room with my fur babies, or lay it out on the floor. I've taken them for picnics before. So and then just recently, whenever that Arctic blast kind of froze over the continental US, they were really useful for keeping me warm in my apartment. So moving right along, I've got those 2 FFOs, and then I also managed to finish a quilt top, which would be my color palette quilt, which is why there's a different project on my wall this month. So I finished cutting out and piecing and squaring up my quilt top, and I will insert a picture here of what it looks like. It's a pretty big girl. It measures roughly like 75 by 92, 93. So, I mean, it's a pretty good like twin full quilt, and I'm stoked with how it turned out. This was a pattern of my own design. I styled it after the online color palette generators, where you can insert a photo or a picture or a pattern or whatever, and it'll pull colors from the picture and generate a color palette for you. So I was inspired to do that with my fabric, and I created these little color palette blocks, and I just turned them on point and basically just kept going until I felt like stopping. So let me show you a little bit more up close. So I've got it all set up on this hanger because this is how I store it in my closet until I'm ready to take it to my long armor. This is the backing fabric I chose. So this is an Anna Maria Horner print. It's got soft purples and pinks, and it's got, you know, butterflies and moths all over it, and these beautiful like kind of botanical and floral bits on it. So I thought it complemented a lot of the fabric choices on the front, as well as the color I used for the sashing. And then here she is, all folded up, but here she is. So this is the sashing. It's I cut it at 1.5 inches, so it's a 1-inch sashing between all the blocks, and it is a beautiful purple color from Juicy Juice is the fabric line. And yeah, I just couldn't be more happy with how this turned out. Let me try and flip it around. I will insert a video that I took kind of going in up close right after this, so you can get a better, more detailed shot of what it looks like all laid out. But she's done. She's done, and she's ready to be quilted. So she's going into storage until my next appointment, which unfortunately isn't until like February, March. So it's gonna be a minute before you see her again, but she's next up to be quilted, and I'm really excited. No clue what quilting pattern I'm gonna use. I'll probably do like a purple stitch color. We'll figure it out when the time comes. I could completely change my mind by the time that the appointment comes around. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. So here's my color palette quilt all laid out. It's a big girl, so she's laid out like right in the smack dab in the middle of my living room. I had to move furniture out of the way. And Milo's making an appearance as well. But here she is. I'm so excited about it. I'm literally standing up on a big giant step ladder just so I can get tall enough to like get it all in frame. The dimensions are approximately 75 inches by 92 inches. So it's like a twin full size. So it's nice and big. I'm going to get down off my stepladder and then bring you in for a closer look. Okay, so let's look at some of these blocks a little bit more close up. I don't know if anybody else does this, but like when I'm making a quilt like this, oftentimes what I'll do is like find blocks that are like my favorites, you know, and then just, I don't know, those are the ones that I like to put in like, Milo, you're in the way. Those are the ones that I like to put in like really good spots because they're my favorites. So like, I really like, let me see, this one. This is the first block that I ever made whenever I was thinking of this quilt. And so it got featured smack dab in the middle. And actually, like, I really like this one too. It's got like, the fabric is like a little eateries, right? So you got your taco truck and your donut shop and your little diner there. That one's really cute. And then let's see. I really like these two purple ones. Purple's my favorite color if you couldn't tell, but I really like these two purple ones because they just look like, I didn't intend to put them next to each other, but they do look really nice together. So let me know if you see something you like. I really like that pink one up there in the corner too. Oh, and this one's fun. This one with the cactuses. Milo, I'm trying to show. Here, let's give him a close-up. Say hi. What do you think about this quilt? Is it good for cuddling? Yes, okay. So anyways, yeah, this is it. I'm super pumped that it's finished. The backing I will show you in a minute. I just got this really pretty Anna Maria Horner fabric that has like butterflies and moths, and it's got a purple tone to it as well. So next step is to get it quilted. So I did work on a couple whips, so I can give you those whip updates real quick, and then we will go over plans and sign off before we all start celebrating the new year. So this quilt here, my newest one on the wall, it's actually an older whip that I had kind of put away for a while. I think I got, like I moved it to the side and then kind of got excited about other whips and forgot about it, which stinks because I really have enjoyed this project. So I'm glad it's back out again. This pattern is this pattern here, which is called Meadowland Quilt by Then Came June. There's several size options. You can either use fat quarters or yardage, half yard cuts, I think. Yeah. And I am making this one here, which is the large throw. And so the finished size is approximately 64 by 80 inches. And it's the same layout as what's on the front. So it's going to be 4 blocks across by 5 blocks down. And currently I have 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 4. So currently I have 12 up there. There's 20 total. So I just need 8 more. Basically I need 2 more rows or columns, however you have it rotated basically. And then I'll be done. And then this one will be ready to come down off the wall and wait for its appointment to be quilted. The fabric that I'm using is the this fabric right here. All these colors are from a line called Cider by Basic Gray, which bits and pieces are still available in certain places, but it's not like widely available because it's kind of an older line. Basic Gray has since released, my mom reminded me of this in a comment on the last video. They have since released a complementary line to Cider, which is called Nutmeg. So I will insert a picture of what Nutmeg looks like, and then I'll probably try and do like a side-by-side comparison, because they're pretty similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty similar. So it's very likely that the backing fabric for this quilt is going to come from Nutmeg. Right? That makes sense. And then this fabric, the background fabric, is just kind of like a sandy desert color that I found, but I could not tell you for the life of me what the fabric line is. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's just kind of, I was thinking that the line made me think of like a desert kind of feel, like a warm, dusty desert kind of feel. So that's where I drew the inspiration to get that kind of colorway for the background. So, and then like just the cool thing about this block specifically is it's also really easy to put together. And then basically it's, once you've made these flying geese units, it's just a 9 patch. Because this central unit is also a 9 patch. So it's just like, once you put this together, it's a 9 patch within a 9 patch. It's actually super easy. So the end result is that they look like, you know, kind of like big fat plus signs with like a diamond in the middle. So it's a really cool effect, the way it looks layered. I haven't obviously finished, so I haven't like moved them around into the layout. I like, meaning I haven't like properly mixed up the colors and the patterns. That's usually my last step. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I'm thinking, so I just had a friend become engaged, and this is very much like her aesthetic. So I'm thinking I might, she doesn't watch my floss tube, or my quilters videos. But I'm thinking I might give this to her as a wedding present. It definitely wouldn't be my first quilt gifted as a wedding gift. That's my Meadowland quilt. The next time I do an update, I want to have all the blocks done, and then hopefully have the top pieced as well, so I can get another project on the wall. I really like to pace myself so that like every other month or so, you guys see a new project on the wall. Like, I think that's a fun little surprise every time you tune in. Okay, so I took a second to move some stuff around real quick so I could put this whip up on the wall. If you have been following me for the last video or so, you will recognize this as my Hexie gradient. And this is another quilt of my own design. The story behind it is that one day at school, when I was still in college, I got bored and I drew this picture here. I just happen to have some colored pencils in my backpack, and this is what resulted from that boredom. And I never threw it away, which was serendipity, because when I was looking at it again, I had decided that since I drew it on graph paper, I don't know if you can see it, and each of these squares are like 10 by 10 grids, I'm like, I can make this into a quilt. So I learned English paper piecing specifically to be able to utilize scraps, entirely scraps from other projects, and then put them in a really cool gradient that will eventually resemble this. I don't know that it'll look exactly like this, but it will resemble this. So this section is this corner, like right here. So let me see. Okay, this is really like precarious. This section is three, actually it's probably more like that. 3 10 by 10 grids. And I have translated this into this. So unfortunately the sun is setting here, the light's not really great, because it's making it look like super dark. But we've got like my little bit of purple down here. This is my dark kind of maroony colors, and they all fade up into hot pink, light pink, peaches, and then into the whites. And then up here, it's gonna start going into gray. So I hope that translates. I mean, I've said it before, this is more of like a guide. I'm not trying to make it, I'm making it out of hexes and scraps. They're not gonna be an exact match, because I'm using what's available. But yeah, this is what I've translated into that. And I am having a blast. I did not anticipate that English paper piecing was so much fun, which is why I waited until I was 33 to even try to learn it. It's not a difficult skill at all, but this is the result of that, and I'm really pumped about it. So again, here's the full thing, and I'm working up. So this next section that I'm going to do is like this. Let me see. This right here. So it's going to start going into light gray, kind of yellow, and then a darker gray as well. So what I'm doing, so I don't get like overwhelmed with just making an insane amount of hexes, is I've divided all my scraps by color, and then as I proceed into the next section, whatever colors pop up that I need in that section, I will hexie those first and then lay out the next little grid. So I've already got purples. I mean, I just used like 4, but I did all my purples, my maroony reds, pinks, and peaches, and now into the whites. So next is grays and yellows. Those are the next ones that I'm gonna make hexagons out of. Here's my shoebox full of all the hexes I've already made. So I'm trying to keep them kind of like a little bit of a gradient, just so they make it a little bit easier to grab. So like these are more of like my neutral whites and my lights and pales, and these are more of like my whites with colors on them. So these were really useful in this area in here, transitioning from peaches and pinks into whites, because that was actually kind of tough. And then of course I've got my peaches and pinks. I've started a couple grays down here, and there's some, can't see them, but there's some oranges down here, reds, and then purples. And so I'm obviously gonna need a bigger box because I have more colors to add, but not that much space left. So here's what's coming up next. I have pre-cut all my grays with my template. All my yellows are next, and then I will hexie these so that I can get started on that next block for the next update. But it will end up roughly a lap size, and I do plan to do a border around the edge, usually probably like a black border. So yeah, that's what's up next. The next time you see this next month, I'm gonna keep working on it, of course. I want to have at least another block or two, or like, you know, these are 3 different sections. I just have them pinned on here together, but I want to have another 2 sections done at least. And then if I'm lucky, I can get 3 done like I did this past month, because then I'll be at the top. So because it's 6 by 6 and there's 3 on here, then 3 more would get me to the top, and then I can work my way back down next to it. So gray and yellow is coming, and then working my way up, I got some more darker grays and into blacks, blues, and even a little bit of brown. So those are the next colors coming, and then I'm just gonna go back down this way. And then we get it like over here, we got a lot of really exciting greens, oranges, some really pretty, I really like this streak of blue kind of through that part there. So this has just been tons of fun. My mom even decided that she was gonna whip out her scraps, and she's working on like a watercolor kind of layout of hexagons with greens and pinks and purples. It's really pretty what she's done so far. So we've both been kind of just hexying our little hearts out. Now that's all my whips that I have to show you. Now I just kind of want to go over what I have intended for the following month and of course the coming year. Tomorrow, January 1st, 2023 is my 1-year anniversary of starting my YouTube channel and putting out floss tube videos and quilters corner videos. And so tomorrow I am going to be filming another update for you guys. One for floss tube and one for Quilters Corner, where I do a complete whip parade, show you all of the kitted quilts that I have planned, show you all of the kits that all of the quilts I've already started that I would like to finish, and then go over what I have planned in terms of what I'm going to be quilting in the next year. I got a lot of really fun things planned, a lot of ideas cooking up here. So please feel free to look out for that and come back tomorrow to check out that video, because I would love to give you guys an update for what's to come. This year has kind of been like the benchmark for me to see how operating this channel went, how I've been able to progress through my hobbies, like what kind of speed I'm working with, what kind of like output I've got in terms of finishing projects. And so now that I have like a metric for how to measure myself, I'm gonna kind of reevaluate how I'm operating here on YouTube, and of course taking into consideration what I know you guys are looking to see, what people have commented on, and what they want to see more of. So yes, that will all be put in a nice concise video for tomorrow. So by all means, feel free to come back tomorrow and I'll lay that out for you. So for the next video, the next update I do, I want to have my Meadowland quilts top either finished or close to finished. I want to get at least 2 more sections of my hexy gradient, if not 3, to get like a column finish. I may or may not have some progress on my legit kit Skullover. And if I don't, it's in the wings waiting to be started, because I want to narrow down some stuff. And then I do have a new start I have planned that's kind of been in the works for a while, and there's at least 1 more whip that I think I want to bring back out and work on. There's a couple that I've just kind of been collecting dust, so at least 1 of those I'm going to bring back out so I can start chiseling down on my whip count for my quilts. But I think that's everything. I think that's all I have for you today. I have no haul this month. Amazing, I know, can you believe it? But that's okay. I'm still kind of recovering from all the haul I bought from the Quilt Festival last month. So yeah, that's it. That's everything. And I hope that each of you has a happy and safe New Year celebration. I hope this past December was full of joy and laughter and fun and family, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or solstice or Yule or nothing at all. I hope it was amazing regardless. To wrap it all up, I'm very grateful for each of you, and I will see you guys in the new year. Bye.